It is actually almost exactly 30 years since your first gig. Is this true?
Well, I mean, you know, we were in the romper room, and, you know, it was like kindergarten, really.
Yeah.
We met. I mean, Edge, I think, was 14 or 15. Larry was 14. And I was 16. Adam was 16. And, yeah, we met and we played. Our first show was really good. And it was really, really good. And then the next 25 were utterly crap. But we'd had just enough of the hit.
Yeah.
So, you know, we got that thing, that high, that we could possibly, that there was something, you know, chemistry or some kind of magic between us, if only we could play in tune and in time.
Yeah, and the first gig you played all covers, right?
We played in the high school gym.
They were mostly Velvet Underground songs, as far as I remember.
Yeah, and we were getting into jazz fusion. And then somebody said, let's play a Bay City Rollers song for the laugh. And actually, that was me. I guess they were the boy band of the time. And we weren't really playing that kind of music. But we noticed that if we just played the first few chords of this particular Bay City Rollers song, all the girls would scream, and we liked that.
Actually, the funniest little story I heard about in the very early days in the formation of the band was that somebody decided, like, why don't we have two girls singers in it to kind of give it a bit sexy vibe? And they got two girls, and the first thing they said was, get rid of Bono. Is this true?
Funny. It is true, because they asked me if I would step into his shoes and sing.
And I introduced them to the band. That's the kind of girls we were hanging out with. Fast and furious. Moved through the band like a wildfire. And X the singer.
Along as a kind of musical Roche test.
Ooh.
And I'm just going to show you these things, and you're going to just say, if you can, 1 or 2 lines about each thing, okay? Because here we go. You ready?
Right.
All right.
Ready or not? Here we go.
Yes, big influence.
Only band in the world wouldn't have walked on after. That's an immodest thing to say.
First songs we learned to play, in some ways, was the Ramones.
Reason we exist.
Ready?
Amazing.
The reason why I'm ready to stand naked, lyrically, emotionally, bare my soul, spiritually, politically, socially, in every way. Patti Smith.
Yeah.
Something that makes you ill, feels like an unreachable greatness.
They're the ultimate band, I think,
yes.
it's really, the
ultimate
Beatles.
band.
They're the band that just outshines everybody, so...
Yes.
I mean, I would have been their roadie, you know, happily. That would have been enough for me.
Yes, we'd carry their suitcases. And yet, deep down, I think we have them on the run.
You know...
Come on. You only go so far. Whoa.
Amazing.
Good choice. Brian Ferry is still dangerously sexy, volatile voice. This kind of 21st century crooner, and he was in 1972, I think, when that came out. And age 12, I started to realize just how sexy music has to be.
Oh, wow.
Well, this is a person who taught us that, maybe even more so than the Beatles, but that you had to innovate. You had to find sounds and musical landscapes that no one had ever lived in before, and take risks and use the studio as an instrument. He worked with Brian Eno on this, and after him working with Brian Eno, we wanted to work with Brian Eno, and Brian Eno changed our life. And, you know, the Beatles and The Who and all these people, the Sex Pistols, the Clash, they all went to art school. We didn't. We went to Brian. And courtesy of David Bowie.
That's why we ended up in Berlin.
Enough said of that.
Because of that album.
Okay, here's one for you.
Oh.
That was a big record, particularly for me, just as a guitar player, because that's a New York band, right? So from this city, one of the best. And what Tom Verlaine and showed me was that you could take an instrument that at that point in time had become so well established in rock and roll that it seemed impossible to do anything new with it. And the two guitar players, Richard Lloyd and Tom Verlaine, just did amazing new things with the guitar. And I didn't want to sound like them, but it was like such a throwdown. It was like, you know, can you do something as original as these guys?
What you managed to, anyway.
Okay.
Not sure about that.
Two more.
Well, this is an Irish boy.
Irish soul.
When he was still a boy, Van Morrison, and it's an extraordinary man who, when he sings, the ground shakes and clouds, you know, just burst open with sunshine or rain. But something's going to happen to the universe when he opens his mouth.
He kind of invented